Hi guys, and happy Wednesday. I am your host Priscilla Moy, and you are watching The Hot Seat. We are live in real time here at social media shows in the beautiful city of Las Vegas. Every single week I come to you and I introduce you to some amazing people that are doing great things in this amazing city, whether it's entertainment, it's business, it's politics, it's anything across the board. I love to sit down with them and talk about them and what they're doing, why they're doing it, and what their goals are going forward. So today's episode is going to be very, very VIP. We have one guest only, but it's going to be an amazing, amazing episode, talking a lot about things that you guys might not even know are happening here in Las Vegas. So when we come back, do not go anywhere, and we are going to get right into our first guest. So I'll see you after the break.
Traditional TV is going away. Hollywood is starting to fade. People are demanding real stories from real people. Our voices are now being heard in our own way. Podcasts, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok Live are becoming the norm. Internet TV has now reached the highest demand in human history. Social media shows is now the new media of the century.
Hi, I'm Deacon T with Modern Word Ministries. It's great to be with you today. Just a short little promo for our show. Every Sunday morning we have service, and you can follow us at 10 a.m. Pacific Time on modernwordministries.org. And if you missed us or you want to see some of our older messages, go ahead and check us out on socialmediashows.com every single morning at 9 a.m. It's a great way to kick off your day, get a little bit of the word in you, get something uplifting, get you started off on your way. You know, if you're looking for prayer or you need some help, reach out to us. If you go to our website, again, that's modernwordministries.org, you can interact with me via telephone, via DM, text message, whatever you want. I'll get right back to you. So if you need prayer, you need help, you just need somebody to talk to, Modern Word Ministries is here for you. We are your church in the community. So until you see you next time, be blessed, everybody. Bye-bye. And welcome to the next exciting episode of
Arena War.
Fresh batch of institutionalized gladiators fighting for their freedom.
Ready, here we go.
You guys heard Perez?
I smell that.
Get back!
Those on the line. The parole board has offered you a ticket out. Win Arena Wars, win your freedom. 7 arenas with 7 of the most vicious killers the world has seen in the last decade. You make it out alive, you get to go home.
Luke Bender.
You're an innocent man.
Innocent man can mean big ratings.
I'll be watching.
I think it's time to audition Mr. Bender.
What was your last physical?
Cell block shower this morning.
Oh, yeah.
You ready for this?
Impressive showing out there tonight. You're the new fan favorite.
Are you with me?
Cutie pie back for the kill.
If you want to live through this, we have to work together.
I'm watching you.
Smile for the camera, thug life.
Wow.
It's showtime!
We have to finish this.
Come on. Hell yeah.
Doesn't sound much like rehabilitation, does it?
Hi guys, and welcome back to The Hot Seat. I am your host Priscilla Moy, and we are here live in real time in the social media shows studio. And like I said, we only have one guest today, and he is here. He has a long history of business, radio broadcasting, and doing a lot of nonprofits, and he is here to talk about one that is very, very, very important to him and very important to the community. So please, everybody, welcome John Williams. John, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Please have a seat. Thank you for being here today on this beautiful day in Vegas.
Thank you for
Very
inviting me.
hot day. We love to have you here. So, John, first and foremost, like, you are from California. You know, you have a long history of volunteer work. You've done a lot of things in regards to, you know, first responders, you know, business, nonprofits. Tell me where that all began and what got you to Las Vegas?
Well, my brother got me to Las Vegas. He's one of the largest card collectors in the world, and he took over the card collection at the Imperial Palace. And so he said, John, you want to help me up there and sell cars? Yeah, $1 million cars, sure. Went up there, worked for Don for a while, and then he came up with the idea with the Nevada Wheelchair Foundation. But the nonprofit's been in my heart since I've been about 20 years old.
Okay.
My daughter was born with a real heart disease, and actually she's the oldest living girl in the world right now, a pretty famous girl, named Jennifer. And so I gave back to the Red Cross, and then I became a volunteer fireman, then a policeman, and painting contractor, car salesman, now Wheelchair Foundation.
That's a lot of
different
things under your belt, and a lot of things that require a lot of energy and time and working with people. And so you did all those things, which kind of, I think, give you a lot of experience to work with people who are in need, right?
Yes.
But then in between then, you also did some radio broadcasting.
Yeah.
And how did that fit in? Was that an interest of yours? And
No, not at all. I had a friend, and he said, John, you want to join me on my show and talk about the auto collections, the classic cars?
Okay.
So I went with him, and his name was Pablo. And after 2 weeks, he said, let's team up. So I did that. And then I teamed up with Josie Harrison, and we did the Community Angels, and then we did Nexus Las Vegas, and we did the Lions Pride radio show together. And that local station was KLAV, but I don't think they're around anymore. But it was fun. But it's hard work. I never knew how hard it was to host. And because if they didn't show up, you got to have a backup. And but I just met the best people, and it was based around nonprofits. So every week I had Make-A-Wish Foundation, Positivity Kids, you name it. I had them on air once a week. And that's what grew my Wheelchair Foundation too.
so what was your goal in speaking with these people in nonprofits? Was it to advertise their thing, or was it also to get some inspiration, since you do almost...
I think my goal, Nexus means, center of communication. All these nonprofits, they don't work together. They're all looking for that $1. They never would work together. I tried to pull them together and work together, and it was almost impossible. But I just want to see nonprofits like Make-A-Wish is a wonderful foundation. They could work with Positively Kids because they do basically the same thing, but it just was impossible. That was my goal. Plus, awareness. Awareness is everything in the nonprofit work.
So he is the founder of Nevada Wheelchair Foundation with his brother.
Yeah,
correct?
my
With your
brother.
And how long has that been founded?
We started in 2002, and
Okay.
it's a funny story. I was selling classic cars, and Don came to sit at my desk, and he said, John, I got a new job for you. And I said, what's that? And he goes, I'm going to buy a bunch of wheelchairs. I'm going to start helping people in Nevada. I said, well, how are you going to do that? He goes, I don't know. You're going to be the state director. You figure it out. Man, so I got thrown right into the job. And I called the governor's office not knowing what to do. And I said, can I speak to Governor Gwynn? And they said, well, you can't speak to the governor, but you can speak to his associates. And I told them, I just have, thousands of wheelchairs. I just want to make sure everybody gets one for free, brand new. Second letter, hi, this is Governor Gwynn. 2 hours later, I met with Governor Gwynn, and he gave me contacts throughout the state. I did that with Senator Reed, Senator Ensign, Jim Givens. Within about 6 months, we were pumping. I mean, we had TV stations. Trisha Keene really followed us. Marie Montero followed me around. It was really good. It started out really well.
So what was your inspiration that really drove you? I know you mentioned your daughter, right? But you did say how it was your brother's idea. Did he have some experience in seeing people in real time? I know you've been first responder, so you see people get in, any situation that you would know.
That's a great question, because my brother's best friend, Ken Barron, Ken Barron's a big developer in California, owns the Seattle Seahawks, he's a big time hunter in the third world countries.
Okay.
And when he was back there hunting, he would, shoot the zebras and, stuff that I don't really do. But he saw all these people carrying the kids and the moms around. And he goes, I can help them. So he started the Wheelchair Foundation, global. And he asked Don, he said, Don, you want to get in with me? Because I'm going to give 5,000 wheelchairs to these countries. And Don says, you know what? I can't help the pygmies in Africa where I live and work. They need them. I can't just bypass my group.
Right.
So that gave him the idea to start the Nevada.
Okay.
So that's how we started, was after from Kinberg. And to this point, the Global Wheelchair Foundation has helped over 1.4 million people with new wheelchairs.
Yeah, so you've made this pretty, very, 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 noticed and viral and wide all across the state.
Yes.
Have you been able to achieve a lot of what Nevada really needed, or is there still some groundwork?
There's always some groundwork. Awareness is everything. I can have all the wheelchairs, I can have thousands like I do now. If I don't have people like you, awareness is everything. I'm very unusual. When a nonprofit gets on a TV show or radio show, they usually say, I need money. Can people donate to me? I don't want your money.
Right.
I need awareness. Awareness is money because I don't have to go out and advertise.
Yeah.
And so that's it. The groundwork for us is awareness, so I don't have to just beg. And I hate to beg. I mean, plus I got some really good people like Richard Harris Law Firm. Rick is a good man. Dallas Horton. I have the Lions Clubs and the whole state. I have the Las Vegas Rotary. I have a lot of people backing me up. So I'm lucky I don't have to ask for money.
Yeah, and you've done a lot of fundraising events. One of the ones I've seen, which is pretty big, I think, is Monday Stark.
Monday Stark?
Monday Stark,
That was fun.
Mark, I know Mark, and he has a wide range of performers and people in entertainment and as well in Vegas.
Yep.
Knowing the mayor and all his network's crazy. So how did that go? That was back in June.
That went really well. We sold out over 200 people. I think when we ended up, we made $14,000. We got to $10,000, and he sold one of my wheelchairs that's worth $400 for like $1,200. He went around.
Yeah.
And he got it, to about $12,000 to $13,000. Oh, I love him. He's so quick and he can sing.
He's very confident, so he will get the word out there.
He's going to get the word out.
Yeah, he's very, very demanding in that way. I've been to some of his shows, and the way he reaches people is a lot different than a lot of people I've seen. So that's a very good network.
I do recommend people go see. What's $20? I think to get in, and you can see one of the top acts.
Yeah,
in Vegas.
And in Vegas, yes.
So if they're dark that night, they volunteer their time.
Right.
So you don't know who's going to be singing.
But it can be a great way to find new talent. It's good for the talent, good for you. It's entertainment. It's always great singers too. So you can't even think that, okay, what kind of show? You know what I mean? Exactly. So have you noticed kind of like a trend, or kind of like what majority of people that are in need of these wheelchairs? Like whether it's disability or elderly, what are
I really concentrated on the seniors. I'm number one. I'm 72 years old, so I'm right there too. But I always think the seniors get the short end of things. So I really concentrated on the seniors. And insurance is you can have the best insurance and stuff for Medicare, Medicaid and stuff, but you can only get one chair every 5 years. Yes. So if you break your wheelchair in 1 year, you got to go 4 years before you qualify for the next one. We fill the gaps up. And that was a great question too. I actually started the Nevada Children's Wheelchair Foundation. And from the Engelstad family, I got a nice grant. And we've helped over, I think, 75 kids already. These wheelchairs are for kids with CP, and they're like $1,200 each. So now I can fit everybody. And I thought the seniors needed all the help, and there's so many wonderful foundations that help the kids, right?
Yeah.
So I really didn't concentrate. And then once I got the wheelchairs, I found out they don't have all the help you think they'd have. So that is going really, and I got 200 sitting in my office now, wheelchair, ready to go for kids. And, just 2 years ago, we had a fundraiser with Dallas Horton. The one gentleman carried his 7-year-old, this is 2023, actually carried his son up to get a wheelchair. Never had one. And we gave him one of the real fancy ones. And both of them had tears in their eyes. And it was really amazing.
Yeah. A wheelchair can change a lot of things.
Mobility.
But they're very, very expensive.
They're very expensive.
Where, you know, and I've learned that even some people can and you're just paying for them and having that, or it takes a long time. So even some people will pass and they still have a charge with the company that, hey, you still owe us for the wheelchair that you have. And it's unfortunate because there's people that really, really need it. And it's also families. It's not just the person, the families that are carrying.
I like that because people don't think about the family.
Yes.
They don't think about the caregiver. So now you can take the person that needs a wheelchair to the mall easier.
Yeah.
And you can take them to the doctor's office a bit easier. Instead of the little walkers, that's hard.
That's hard. Very
hard. Now you put them in a very nice wheelchair. They're around $400 each now. And we have so many sizes, but it does make it so much easier for the caregiver.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Yeah.
And so we're talking about different types of wheelchairs.
Sure.
Now, obviously, there's the typical wheelchair we all know of, but depending on what people need them for, right? Now, are there different types? There's some that are motorized. Are there some that are just all you have to push them, or they have to? What kind of things do you have?
Our wheelchairs are all manual.
Okay.
But we ordered the ones. The new ones have even bicycle tires on them now, so they last a little bit longer.
Okay.
And the handles come off, so they can fit under the table nice. The leg adjusts. The manual wheelchairs we don't get into. That's a whole different ballgame. And but we have 4 sizes. We go up to about 200 and about 300 pounds on people. We do have just a few for over 300, but they're too hard for me to handle.
Yeah.
And caregiver, how's the
of course.
caregiver going to lift a 75-pound wheelchair?
Yeah, and then you
from?
put it in the car, you fold it back out. It's a
It's
lot
tough.
of
It's real tough. But and it's so easy to get a wheelchair too. I mean, if you live in the state of Nevada, and you need it for basically permanent use, okay? Not just because you fell and broke your leg.
Yeah.
We would rather just go rent one for 2 weeks. And then, and you just can't afford one. We don't ask for driver's license, ID, we take your word. And I found 10 of them at swap meets. They were selling my wheelchairs in the box. So, but we can't worry about that because we've helped 11,500 people. And if you put that in dollar-wise, it's a big dollar amount. We saved the state of Nevada $3.4 million if the recipients had to go out and buy each wheelchair.
Yeah.
So we feel like we're doing our job. But again, awareness is so much, because we're in every city in Nevada, and it's just Ivy and myself.
Yeah.
So we have to travel to Reno and Elko and Winnemucca. But that's when my service clubs take over. They can deliver the wheelchair personally, and we do personal hand-delivered wheelchairs. We just don't dump off 50 here and 50 to build up our numbers. Each one is a hug.
Yeah.
Each one we get a hug.
I was gonna say it's a lot of work. If you have to go here, there, drive, and
It's
do all this
so
stuff,
much
it's a
work.
lot of work. It's a lot of energy. And then I can only imagine, like you're up in age, and you're starting to feel if the more you do it, the more you start feeling on your body. And
well, in my mind, I'm 50.
yeah,
My body,
like you think you can do it. Next time you get out of the car, you're like, oh, that's 6 hours. I feel 6.
No,
I would feel the 6 hours. So I mean, yeah.
just wait.
I already know. So you mentioned awareness being the biggest thing you're focusing on to boost. But is there any other big hurdle that you always have, you find that you have to go leap over every time you go out and try to push?
I think the biggest hurdle that we come across is people want it for temporary use.
Okay.
It's real hard for us that we get half of our phone calls we have to say no to. And that's so hard. And we have to say no because once we give them the wheelchair, we can't take it back. Because our mission is brand new wheelchairs in a box. And I can't give them out again. I think that's our biggest hurdle. Just we have to say no to some people. And we have to say no to, like, the hospital, people getting out of hospital because they need a wheelchair to get out. They won't let them leave unless they have a wheelchair. So they get a wheelchair, they take them out, they loan them, and then they leave my brand new wheelchair at the side, $400 wheelchair. They used it for 10 minutes. So I had to stop giving them to hospitals for, when they leave. I think that's our biggest hurdle, is saying no, saying no, and saying no. Because we don't repair them. If one wheelchair breaks, we just give them a new one. And just destroy that one. That's how we do it. But I think that's our biggest hurdle. And awareness, again, I keep saying awareness is because we have, 2,000 wheelchairs now? And we only get 10 calls a day. Why is that? I mean, you go in TV won't take you anymore like they used to. I used to just call Trisha, Maria, anybody. Can we get on? They should find a reason for us to go on. This was years ago. Now they say, John, there's so much going on in the world with the borders, with the presidents and this and that. They have to cut the nonprofit times down to almost no time, because each station has their own individual foundation that they like and support. There used to be a whole bunch of them. So we're just not getting awareness. And we don't have a staff. We don't have an executive director. We don't have PR people. I'm the truck driver, the office person in Ivy too. Ivy works full time too as a massage therapist. So awareness is our biggest hurdle. And I just don't know how to get over that hurdle yet. I mean, because I can get more help if I have to.
Yeah, but it's hard for nonprofits to, have a full staff and then have their hearts in it the way you.
Some of them have assistant directors to the assistant to the assistant. Some have the PR guy and then assistant for the PR guy. It just dwindles down. But I think we are a true nonprofit. All our money that we make goes right back to the Wheelchair Foundation. And when I do a fundraiser, like we have a golf tournament coming up in May 18th, a gentleman's doing it for us. Say we make $10,000, the Wheelchair Foundation Global will match it.
Okay.
So if somebody wants to donate $500, they match it. But we don't go, that's not in my little speech when I go anywhere. I'm just, at the end, I might tell them, okay, because they always want to offer. I said, well, if you want to offer $5,000, we'll match it. That buys a lot of wheelchairs.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
So, with all your past with cars and all of the first responder type of work, what have you taken from that, and how do you use all of that now in what you're doing?
I think you just got to end up being a passionate, caring person. When you're, just for an example, when I worked for the fire department on the ambulance, and you drive up to a scene and you see a lot of injured people, and you just walk in, you have to be real calm, even though your insides are not calm. And you just want to say, hi, Joe, people that you know at the scene, and not calm. I think that helps me now with these people, because they can see that we do it out of the heart. And being a police officer, volunteer, reserve, you have the same amount, because if you walk up to people, God Almighty, they're not going to take you right. If you go up there as, hey, this guy's nice, and he has a badge on.
Yeah.
And mainly at the American Red Cross, when I taught CPR for 20-some years, you're teaching people, and they're usually there because they have to be. They're in a job where somebody could have a heart attack. So you're dealing with delicate people, or somebody that just lost their family. So that helped me too. I mean, I think it's passionate and passionate for people. That's why I do it.
Yeah. Do some of those things stay with you? I know a lot of those things, like a lot of retired police officers or sheriffs or people, EMT, all that stuff, they carry, a lot of that weight on them from whatever they've experienced.
I can't imagine doing it full time. I really put the firemen and policemen up on a high pedestal. I know that they took the job, they knew the job before they got into it, but they got the job. And they have to be good and passionate. I mean, for 20 years, 30 years, seeing hurt people and bad people, it does weigh heavy on me.
So where are you heading with the Wheelchair Foundation? Where's your goal, let's say, in the next 5, 10-ish years? Where do you want to see it?
Okay, on my website, I'm putting down I want to do 5,000 more wheelchairs in the next couple of years.
Okay.
And then I think that's going to be it, because we'll be up to 12,000 wheelchairs. And it probably won't continue because I've done it my way. I did it with friends. It'd be hard for somebody just to come in and take it. I mean, because they don't know my friends, they don't know my contacts.
Yeah.
I do it out of my heart. They probably won't do it. And you don't do it for money.
Right.
You know. And so that's my goal. 5,000 in a couple more years. And if I have to expand it like I did with the children in wheelchairs, I think I'm going to do that more now. And just seeing kids that finally in a nice, comfortable chair, they can lean back. That's very fulfilled.
Do you feel that you've exceeded your expectations, your brother and yourself, and what you guys?
I think so. I think so. That's a lot of wheelchairs to give out personally. When I say personally, I'm talking about our volunteers and stuff too. But you always feel like you can do more. You know, maybe we'll get into electric wheelchairs someday. Maybe somebody will come up and, you know, like Richard Harris. That guy is unbelievable in Dallas. They're doing it from the heart. I mean, they personally help me. They just don't give you money and say, see ya, and put my name on the billboard.
And do what you want.
They are right there, helping, shaking hands and hugging me. If I get more people like that and more money comes in, maybe we will expand. I haven't thought about it, but that's another good question. Or I might just buy more fancier wheelchairs, because these kid wheelchairs go up to $10,000-$15,000.
I can imagine, especially with a certain disability.
Exactly.
That has to fit their needs.
Yep.
Right?
That's exactly what it is. Each one, say one disabled little child, everything might be to the left.
Yeah.
So they got to make the wheelchair for that. And everything's personal. You just don't buy a wheelchair and throw kids in it.
Right, because they're pretty big. Like people who don't remember experience having one, like they're really wide, and so there's a lot of room for people to do this. So if they're a smaller person, you know, even for a frail, and elderly, you know, person, and they're this, I know in my experience with my grandmother, my mom had to put like pillows.
Yep.
But even then, you know, there's a seatbelt, and then sometimes they undo it and they fall forward, and it moves. You have to lock it, right? So there's a lot that goes into these, and I can imagine depending on what a certain person might have and how much mobility they may or may not have, it's one, you know, traditional one's not going to be a fit.
No, that's exactly what happened. I think it was yesterday. We gave a wheelchair to this young lady. She had 2 disabled kids. And our wheelchairs are nice. I mean, they're Kangas. They're really nice. But they wasn't made for kids that move and bounce around and try to.
Yeah.
And they almost fell out 2 or 3 times. So now we're trying to get on the phone, call our friends that can make that for us, or find them one, because they are specialty. I never realized that until like yesterday. I thought mine would fit most people, and no, maybe a senior, they could sit like this all day, but these kids are wiry, they move.
Yeah. Especially if you want to make sure they continue being mobile. You know, people that sit for a while, they start making clots, and then, you know, and it's too comfortable, people think, oh, that's fine, they'll be there.
Yeah.
But you want to be able to make it in a way where people can still keep whatever mobility they have left, right, without other problems.
Yeah.
So what is one misconception that you realize people don't know? Like, yes, it's one issue is a resource, financial resources that families might not have to purchase one, but is there another misconception that people have about access to wheelchairs that they might not know?
I think insurance companies really don't advertise wheelchairs.
Okay.
And if they would just put out their name more and say what they can do more, but they don't. They keep it to themselves. Excuse my coughing a little bit. But I think that would be it. And they don't know about. There's other foundations that do wheelchairs too, but they won't advertise it. You know, if they can't help them, they don't say, "Oh, go to the Nevada Wheelchair Foundation." They don't do that. So I think that's our biggest thing.
Where people don't even realize there's other options apart from doing
Many options out there, but you don't know it.
Yeah.
Until somebody tells you. And these parents are, you know, they usually don't make a lot of money. like you said, wheelchairs get expensive. The specialty wheelchairs, $2,000, $3,000 to $5,000, $10,000.
Yeah.
And where's somebody going to do it when you make $25,000, $30,000 a year?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest one is the insurance company.
Yeah. And even if some people might not always have access to insurance. Insurance is not an easy thing to obtain in this country, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So
Most of them,
yeah.
most of them can get Medicaid, Medicare,
Yeah.
documented or non-documented. We help everybody. We don't even care.
Yeah.
We just
Because
don't care.
it's already a
Now,
struggle.
if you're a person,
Yeah.
you need a wheelchair.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why we don't have to embarrass them by asking how much they make or where you're
Right.
from.
Right.
If they need it, they're going to get one.
Yeah. So there's no judgment zone when it
No
comes to
judgment.
So
You know,
for the viewers,
I think that was a good question too, is I would say 60% of our recipients are Hispanic.
okay.
I know 2 words, leche, como esta, or something like that, you know. And that community really needs wheelchairs bad.
Okay.
We still go on Telemundo and Univision a lot. No more. For some reason they moved in their basement in Reno or something. I got to get into that community again. And I would love to get the politicians to be back. Don't cost them anything, politicians. They can just say, hey, I support the Wheelchair Foundation.
Exactly.
And we get, if you're in my district and you need a wheelchair, I'm going to get you one. They don't do that. You wonder why they don't do that.
And they should. You know, we've had a couple on here that do represent certain districts, and they talk about how their community, the people are mostly a minority, and so those are definitely people that would benefit, you know, your cause. Do you think that there's a certain reason as to why certain minorities are more in need of others? Do you see a trend with that?
I would say maybe it's financial, maybe.
Okay.
I think it's financial. But we do work a lot with the Asian community now. You know, with Josie Harrison, she was Filipino, and she got us into the Filipino community. And every community is tight. So you have to be in that community to really, you know, I can't just go into the Filipino or the Chinese community and talk. But somebody like you or Josie can, that gets us right in there. And then they know somebody, and they know somebody. And it doesn't cost them any money. So they can say the same thing. You know, the Asian community is teaming up with the Nevada Wheelchair Foundation, making sure that everybody in our community gets one for free. Just give us a call. That's all they have to say. And it's a 50-50 thing. I don't say Nevada's paying for it.
Yeah.
Or they're paying for it. It looks like we're working together. It's not used anymore. That word team. I love that word team. And there's no I in team.
Yeah, of course. Do you think, you know, I always want to see if there's a correlation between certain minorities and the need for wheelchairs within families, because some minorities are more prone to doing home care with the elderly and with people, the elders in their family. So they're more inclined to need those things accessible in their home versus people who choose to send them into nursing homes or things. I do see that there's some sort of, you know, logistic with that, or that you've recognized?
No, you know, I've been into those assisted living homes a lot.
Yeah.
But, and that's a good question. I never really thought about that question.
Because being an Asian, I went from an Asian community experience, we tend to never leave our elders, right? They took care of us our life.
That's
We would
true.
never push them
Well,
to
it's
the
the same
curb.
with Hawaiians. Yeah.
Right, yeah. So a lot of the Asian community tends to, you know, siblings, they'll take their time, they'll help them, and they'll trade off. And so, versus there are other people that they don't even think that's a thing. They just want to continue living their life, and they just put their
You know, I
parents over.
noticed that
Yeah.
down at Oakmont, where my mom was, and there's so many great assisted living places. And there was I call them recipient, or residents that used to sit by the door waiting for the loved ones to come in. They never came. It was every day for maybe 5 months or 3 months. And, you know, I don't know if I tried to give wheelchairs to these assisted living places, and I offer, I mean, I'll give you as many as you guys need, and it hits a wall. And I think that, I don't know, the senior community is there's a wall there and I can't break through it. I don't know how.
Live streaming on social media is the best new way to interact and bond with your community. Do you love to encourage, motivate, and empower others, but you do not know how? Well, your opportunity starts with us on social media shows. We have 20 shows a week live streamed across the globe, with a reach of over 80,000 and growing. So you can host your own show, and you can be anything you want to be. So let's bring the community together, and let's bring the world to you. Join us now.
Hi, I'm Deacon T with Modern Word Ministries. It's great to be with you today. Just a short little promo for our show. Every Sunday morning we have service, and you can follow us at 10 a.m. Pacific time on modernwordministries.org. And if you missed us or you want to see some of our older messages, go ahead and check us out on socialmediashows.com every single morning at 9 a.m. It's a great way to kick off your day, get a little bit of the word in you, get something uplifting, get you started off on your way. You know, if you're looking for prayer or you need some help, reach out to us. If you go to our website, again, that's modernwordministries.org, you can interact with me via telephone, via DM, text message, whatever you want. I'll get right back to you. So if you need prayer, you need help, you just need somebody to talk to, Modern Word Ministries is here for you. We are your church in the community. So until you see you next time, be blessed, everybody. Bye-bye.
We've reached the age of live streaming on social media shows. You may ask, we're already ahead of the curve, so why do you need to advertise with us? Well, only 8% of the businesses in the U.S. are using digital advertising to grow their business. That's 2 percentage points short of reaching critical mass, which will lead to faster results. We have 20 plus shows with a reach of over 80,000. We'll give you commercial ads, website link, and connections to nonprofit organizations. So get your brand ready for digital monetization, for we are looking for sponsors, which will bring more traffic to your business and ultimately mean more sales. So let's bring the world to you. Inquire now.
There's a wall there and I can't break through it. I don't know how. I go to every senior center. I go to every talk. Anything to do with senior centers. I belong to great medical groups like the Vegas Health Care, and I can't break through to the senior. I don't know why. Maybe I need to spend money someday. I don't know. Because I never spent money in 22 years. I thought just bringing, $500,000 worth of free wheelchairs would get me in the door, and it doesn't get me in the door anymore. But you're right. You said that there's so many little communities like the Asian. My wife is Hawaiian. They stayed with the parents stayed until the end, and a lot of them don't. When somebody gets sick, it's a lot of work to care for somebody.
It is. Oh, 100%.
A lot of work.
And it's not just physical, it's mental too, and emotional stress.
Financially, mental, and you still got to work.
And stress, yeah, it's very stressful.
50, 60-year-old taking care of your 80-year-old mom, you still got to work your 40 hours a week.
Yep, and that was my mother. So I've experienced seeing, changes in behavior and how it takes a toll on the family.
Yeah.
Even physically, right? If you're lifting, you're helping bathe, you're taking you to the bathroom, it's dead weight. If you think of
it's dead weight.
Yes, and people don't understand that there's way more to it than just, they need a wheelchair, just put them in it and roll.
I swear by caregivers now. I mean, my mom had fantastic caregivers. They held her hand right to the end. They talked to her, they bathed, they did everything.
Yeah.
Stuff that I could not do, even if I was not working. My mom and I talked about that, before, and she goes, do me a favor, don't change me, because I'll be embarrassed.
Yeah.
Mom, I don't want to do it.
Right.
I can't do it anyway. But it ended up being caregivers, and they're my boots on the ground now. I try to connect all to these different foundations and companies that are caregivers. Now they personally meet the people, and they can say, hey, you need a wheelchair. So that's my goal, is to get every caregiver and company a wheelchair or 2 wheelchairs.
Yeah, because that's where I was going to also lead to is if you work with personal, you work with families or all that stuff, but you work with places that their whole business is working, caregiving and taking care, even if it's a day club. So, for example, there's a place called like Franciscan Village, right?
Yeah.
They do more with a lot of the nuns and stuff my grandma used to go to just for like a kind of a social thing in the day. They play games, they meet other people that live there. And so those have to do more with like the religious groups. But I was wondering if you do reach out to those as well.
Yeah, I do,
churches
but
it's interesting that they would not,
No.
since that's their primary thing going on.
I know. I went to the biggest Catholic churches,
Yeah.
the Mormon churches, thinking they're going to help me.
Yeah. Interesting.
I know. I've hit walls there.
That's very interesting.
I think the senior centers are one of my best, and just being on shows like this is our number one, getting the word out. Maybe they think something's free is not right. Something's
Maybe
wrong.
they think there's something.
Why is somebody giving me a $400 wheelchair for free?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe they think, oh, I got their name and address now, and I'm going to send them stuff, or I'm going to sell this information. They can give me phony addresses. We don't care. We just need an address for it, inventory. So, you're never going to get a call from us. I think that might be a reason why they.
Okay.
I don't know.
So you mentioned a little earlier, you do have a daughter that
Mm-hmm.
is kind of well known.
Yeah.
How has that part of your life shaped what you do? Because I don't know much about, her specific heart condition,
Yeah.
but.
I think it's just that when you're in the hospital, when your little girl has, I think it's 6 open heart surgeries with the heart out of her body. And then after you have so many, your back is like this because,
Right.
So then they have to go in your back and they have to break your back and put 2 rods in your back. And being in the hospital and you see these kids and sick people all the time and seeing it from the outside, because I wasn't a nurse or a doctor, I was just a dad watching. And I think that's what got me caring for everybody. And then she's so positive. I mean, she has a lip leg now because something happened, and now she slaps her leg a little bit. She has scars here. See, back then, 40-some years ago, it wasn't microsurgery. Yeah. It was.
Right.
And seeing her so positive, and she comes up and helps me, and well, she's doing good. She's 47, looks 20 years old. I'll show you a picture after, and
it's
unbelievable.
I mean,
and she is.
Yeah.
She's an inspiration.
Yeah.
And just if I meet somebody, that's an inspiration because they cry and they just hold you and cry. Say, we've been waiting for so, and that charges me right back up. It's like a battery charger. Mm-hmm. If I see people, giving me hugs and tears, and it's really amazing when people want to volunteer and they say, hey, John, we want to deliver some wheelchairs. We want that feeling. Hey, let's do it. So we give them an address, they pick up the wheelchair, and they deliver the wheelchair, and they can personally get that hug.
Yeah. Was there one situation that really stuck with you to this day, out of all the years that you've been doing this, where at least there's one person that really helped, that kind of really hit a nerve? Some really inspirational story.
We had a couple come in, and their mom wasn't. They stayed in their house for like 2 years. They couldn't take her mom anymore. And finally, they got a wheelchair from us. And they went to the mall, and they went to a movie, they did something, they came back in tears, just crying. And just said, she is so happy now. She finally got out of the house. She went to the mall. She felt like a human being going shopping. And because she was in the house for 1 year. 1 year. And that's a shame that they couldn't get a wheelchair, from somebody. Mm-hmm. But that story stuck with, in that young man carrying his son, really stuck with me. Here we are in this 2003 in Las Vegas. You would think that we're in Africa or something. They're still carrying the kids. That's not right.
2023, right?
23.
2023. Yes.
2023. It shouldn't be. It just should not happen.
Yeah.
It should not happen. And then we get a lot of these small little kids. They're this big, and we got these cute little neat wheelchairs now. and you see it, and you see one in there, and it really, now you feel like, okay, we're doing a good job. We're doing a good job.
You see the impact that it has.
The impact is, yeah. And then you get, people that are 90 years old now, and they can get around. Their loved ones can push them around and stuff like that.
Do you see kind of a shift? Because I know, and not to get into politics, and not really politics, but there is, this obvious thing going on with like the open border, right? So there's tons of people coming into the United States of all ages, all, situations. Do you see that there's a rise in need with certain people coming in the U.S. wanting those resources that America has, or do you think it's kind of still the same?
I think it's still the same. What I see is the foundation, and people are not donating as much money anymore to these wonderful foundations. There's 400 nonprofits just in Clark County, and they used to get grants, from the city and the states and the government and stuff. Right now, they're not giving the grants out. The money's being used to ship overseas, and so we don't get the government grants like we used to. We get individual grants now, like the wonderful foundation, the Ingolstadt Foundation. They help kids. They millions and millions of dollars, Opportunity Village. That's their heart. They are, and that's helping me with my wheelchair foundation. But we don't see, even though we know that they're here. And it's not just Mexico and Hispanics. They're coming in from Canada now. Different. I don't see the rise, but if it does, I'm ready for it.
You have thousands in your office waiting.
Yeah, we do. We have warehouse space. Warehouse space is very expensive. It can go from $1 to $2 a square foot, and we need thousands and thousands. I never paid a cent yet. Richard Harris helps me. With his airport hangar, the Lions Club, the Rotary, they all give me a spot where I can put 500, 500, 500. In Reno, I got the Lions helping me, and a nonprofit helping me. They're stored at about 500 wheelchairs. And I'm just so fortunate I don't have to beg for money.
Of course. You have a great foundation base of people.
Yeah, if I had to come up with $5,000 a month, or $6,000 for inventory, and for this, I couldn't make it.
Yeah, because you kind of answered it, but I was going to touch base on what the process is like getting grants, and now you're saying because the government's now using a lot of the resources to help the world wars that are going on currently, and you're showcasing what effect that's something people might not really see that affects their daily life. It kind of does in a way.
Yep.
Because it's affecting the nonprofits that might be of aid to you and your family.
Exactly.
Or something that people might not know in this country.
That's
right.
That's exactly.
Because there's a lot of people that are like, okay, well the United States is so used to helping other countries. We're looked at as a power country, all of that. Okay, they're going to keep doing it. But I think we're slowly starting to see, and I want to make that known, on how it kind of can affect you and your family. Even though you think you have nothing to do with Ukraine, you have nothing to do with Palestine, you think you don't have anything with that, how it's affecting you as an American.
And you do.
And it does.
I never thought of it that way, but my phone's not ringing. And I know a lot, like I said, I know almost every nonprofit. Everybody knows me out in the nonprofit world. And they're all hurting right now. They really are.
Yeah.
They need supporters, individual supporters.
Yeah.
Like I have. But you won't make it if you don't have it.
Right.
You can have the biggest heart.
Great intentions, and it just comes down to funding.
It's just not gonna, it comes down to money, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
We are based around money.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that Nevada is specifically would be different in a different state in Nevada, or do you think it would kind of be the same? Because obviously each state has different types of economies, right? And things that they focus on, taxes, where they're getting a lot of the stuff come. For us, it's casinos and tourism and things like that. Do you think that has an impact, or do you think it would kind of, be the same if you were to do this in California or Utah or Florida or Arizona?
I think Florida might be good. We're based in California, but we don't do California. We just do Nevada. My brother came up with it.
Yeah.
But I do have somebody very interested in Arizona saying, John, if I put the money up, can you start the Wheelchair Foundation? And I can start in a minute. When Katrina hit, I saw on the news all these people, houses wiped out. So I called my brother and I said, John, I think they're going to need wheelchairs. And he said, let's go back there. So I flew back there and met with the governor, and we started the Wheelchair Foundation within 3 days. Ivy and I and her brother, we loaded, I think it was 500 wheelchairs. We sent it to the flood areas, and we had the Rotary on that side collecting them in Biloxi, and we gave out all 500 of them within about 2 years. So I think those states that get flooded a lot, that's where I would probably concentrate on, not Montana or, you know,
Right.
California is so huge.
It is, yeah. In states like, you know, in the South.
Yeah,
You're talking
I think the
Louisiana
South
and
where they need, I think that's, because they lose everything.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and then Arizona too. I mean, for some reason Arizona, I love Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
And if somebody comes up with the money, I mean, we can start it in a minute. I mean, it's very easy. And it's new for the state, so we would get a lot of press. You know,
Okay, yeah, and right off the bat,
Instantly.
yeah.
boom, every station for weeks and weeks. So we better be prepared and have our wheelchairs in line because we will be busy.
So this final question I normally ask all of my guests,
Sure.
because it kind of sums up them as a whole as a person, apart from what they do, and along with everything that you talked about. And it's, is there a philosophy that you live by?
I believe in karma. I really do. That's my magic word. I mean, you give out, if you really help the community, good things will happen to you. And for me, I'm blessed by meeting other people. So maybe because I give out so much, Richard Harris likes what I see. Or Dallas Horton. I think that's, I mean, just help others. Being in this nonprofit world, it's because it's so hard to live out there. You got to make so much money now, and you watch the news. You got to make $80,000 a year, and you got to have a credit of $800 to rent a 2-bedroom house.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible to make it. It's so hard. But in the nonprofit world, I think just give, whatever you can give. I mean, not just financially, just in time. My volunteers don't give me a penny; they give me time. That is worth a lot.
It is, because they could be doing something else for someone else, right?
Exactly.
But they choose to help you and then help the community as well, right?
Yep.
So would you like to tell all of our viewers where they can learn more about your foundation, how to contact if someone's watching, they're like, oh my gosh, I need one, right?
Good.
Where they can find you personally, if you're open for questions on social media, you can let the viewers know.
We have a request line. It's 702-900-3362. And give us about a day to answer, because we're only 2 people. And we have a website, beautiful website, is NevadaWheelchairFoundation.org. And we have a nice little 20-minute show on us. And if you want to know about the Wheelchair Foundation, just watch that 20-minute TV show on us. And then you're going to know everything about us. And you'll see beautiful pictures of young kids, older kids. You'll see my mom. You'll see. Our website is really, really good. Really good.
So the website is probably going to get everything you need to know, whether it's contact information and information.
Everything's on my website too.
Okay, so the website is where you guys need to go, so make sure you jot it down. If you want to rewind this and jot that down, definitely get in contact with John. See the offers that he has. If anything kind of works for your situation, they do talk to you personally and get to know you. They're not too personal with what like judging as to whether you're worthy or you're not worthy, but more so how they can help you. So please take note that they do this, you know, on their own free time, out of their own compassion and empathy, just to hear you and know that your voices and your needs are heard and seen by somebody. So everyone, John Williams, round of applause for you. Thank you so much for being on our show. It's a pleasure. And I hope that this can really push you further and get whatever goals you and your brother have, that we can meet those goals for you, of course. So when we come back, just know we're not done talking, but that is our VIP guest for today, John Williams and the Wheelchair Foundation here in Nevada. So I will see you after this break. Hi guys, and welcome back to the Hot Seat. I'm your host Priscilla Moy, and I really hope you enjoyed today's exclusive episode with John Williams. He is helping so many people in need, so really look into the Nevada Wheelchair Foundation and everything that they can do for you and your family and the community in general. It's definitely a great nonprofit to support and to push. And, you know, he was talking about awareness and everything, how that is super important, the marketing side and pushing the word out to do everything that they're intending to do. So, few announcements. We just had an amazing red carpet this past weekend for the movie MR9, Do or Die. And if you guys seen it, thank you. And if you haven't, watch it. Because it's, we talk a lot every week about, you know, that we are red carpet hosts. We go to red carpets, we advertise, and we're looking for people that are inquiring about those things. It's not just movie premieres or film festivals, but if you have an event or you are a movie producer and you don't know how to advertise it, we are here for you. So if you're wondering what that's like and how we do it, what it looks like, what it entails, what you'll get within hiring us to do those red carpet events, please go on our website, socialmediashows.com, and you'll be able to see kind of a little bit of what we do. And if you want to be in the spotlight and have me interview you on the red carpet all dressed up, then you have to give the amazing executive producer Maria Pereza a call. And another thing, a lot of people are wanting to be on the hot seat. If you want to sit here just like John did to talk about everything that you're doing, how amazing you are, and how we can push your name out for the beautiful city of Las Vegas to know, please email your headshot and your bio to admin@socialmediashows.com. Now, this isn't a guaranteed spot on the show. This is a casting. It is by selection base only. So please know that there are emails coming in all the time. It's like a one-woman show here. Maria, the amazing Maria, doing all of these things for you guys, basically. And so please be patient, but please also know that it's not guaranteed. I don't want to build your hopes up and then have you guys get mad at us, but it's not guaranteed. But majority of the time, we'd love to have you on. I'd love to meet you. I'd love to interview you. But then I'd also love to host your red carpet. Those are a ton of fun. And I promise they garner a lot of attention, guys. So if you guys want to see what that's like, come see our recent one, and we will be doing another one, a 4-day red carpet event this weekend. So be on the lookout. We are booked and busy. And if you want to be one of those people that book us for that much time at that high quality and have me there, because, you know, it's important if I'm there. I'm just kidding. But if you want any of us there, Maria especially, please inquire and email admin@socialmediashows.com, and she will speak with you personally about what you're looking for and how we can help make it happen, okay? But anyway, thank you for watching The Hot Seat. I hope you guys enjoyed today's amazing inspirational episode, and I will see you next week.